Thanks for making a date. Welcome back to the show. Now, almost 6 billion cedis has been given out in financial support to commercial banks as at the end of 2017. This was contained in the Bank of Ghana's latest statistics report, which looked at the regulator's financial transactions for last year. There's more in the following Business Desk report.
The report showed that at the end of December 2016, loans the central bank advanced, including those of banks said to be in financial distress, stood at 5.5 billion cedis. The amount reduced significantly at the middle of last year and started going up again to almost 6 billion cedis ending December 2017. A trend analysis of these numbers shows from September last year to December 2017, the stock of loans shot up by more than 1 billion cedis, an indication that more banks were turning to the regulator for support, or let's say 1 or 2 banks were demanding more support. For instance, the central bank recently said it has over the last 2 years advanced over 2.2 billion cedis in liquidity support. For some, this may give all of us an indication of how the current challenges in the banking sector is costing Bank of Ghana. However, sources close to the regulator say these monies are not free cash and would be paid back.
And that was a Business Desk report. Now, senior partner at ABA David & Co., David Ofosu Dortey, is reiterating the call on the private sector to get involved in government's policies that seek to promote local businesses. According to him, the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda by the new administration is a laudable idea which can only be achieved with keen involvement of the private sector. David Dortey made a call at the Joy FM Thought Leadership Seminar under the theme, Ghana Beyond Aid, the Common Man's Perspective.
A policy like planting for food and jobs is too long. The ordinary person, but planting for food and jobs is actually Operation Feed Yourself in one word or the other and adding value to it. We always miss the ordinary man. We must make the policy so simple that if I arrive at the airport, the taxi driver should tell me if he's speaking Twi. You see, Ghana, we are seeing that's what center of the world means. I was pleased when I flew to Kumasi on Monday, an hour on the flight, they spoke Twi to tell you how not to smoke in the aircraft. Every word was spoken in Twi. So you don't alienate the quote and unquote those who cannot speak English from flying. Why do we do that to ourselves? That's 80% of the population we are dealing with. So if we can bring Ghana Beyond Aid to the ordinary coconut seller, he will understand that Ghana Beyond Aid simply means even you, the individual, should be able to create wealth. And when you create wealth, at the place you are creating wealth, I will bring a POS and you will pay taxes. And then when you get a national ID card, the national ID card will include the situation where you have a TIN number and GRA will collect its tax from you. And that when you pay taxes, create a situation and ensure that your MP doesn't go to parliament and easy to buy a 4-wheel drive. Because at times, we think that things are not connected. In 2025, we will have Continental Free Trade Agreement. And all this that Mr. Puliesi is complaining about, it may get worse if the ordinary people don't get involved now. If he wants equity law, we do have an equity law in the field of LI 2204, which is for the oil and gas sector. But you can demand it everywhere. I have heard the president say he's demanding 51% for the quote and unquote the private sector participation in ECG. I'm here to see how private sector are aggressive trying to take that 51%. Maybe private sector should go to the president and say, yes, we want the 50%, 51%, but probably give us a 10% on carried interest, and therefore we don't have to raise the 51%. And let's practice this the way the Malaysians did it, and give us a spread as to how long it will take for us to get to the 41%. Private sector is sitting down looking for money from Busak. I have met private sector businessmen who are afraid that Busak is also backing out in 2020, and they cannot hold workshops.
Let's also stay on the private sector, and industries say they are optimistic the implementation of a new model for interest rate calculations would help reduce the cost of credit. Banks in the country would from next month start implementing the Ghana reference rate, which the regulator says would bring some transparency in determining interest rates. CEO of the Association of Ghana Industries, Seth Chuma Kwabwa, says industry just can't wait for this implementation.
Well, I don't think I'll fault the governor in any way when he says the banking industry is strong. I think we should not give the impression that the banking industry is weakened so much. There's a serious problem. The whole banking industry is crumbling. No, I don't think so. I think that there may be one or two challenges here and there, and that must be dealt with. So I agree on that score with the governor, that the banking industry is strong. However, being strong is not enough. We are talking of development. Development is where your businesses are able to borrow at competitive and reasonable rates, which enable them to do business and have a good return on investment so that they continue to borrow and have the multiple effects and the multiplier effect on the entire economy. And I think this is what we are lacking now. So I believe Bank of Ghana has a lot of work to do. I appreciate that there's a lot of consolidation and a lot of tightening and a lot of reforms going on. For example, we expect that Bank of Ghana has announced that the base rate formula is being introduced from the beginning of next month. That is going to work as well. So with all these reforms coming up, we expect that there will be improvement in the response to the fall in the policy rate, so that the lending rates will come down. So with the kind of effort being made, I'm sure it would eventually lead to a fall in the interest rate. But I want that to happen quick, because for businesses, we can't just wait. We want to develop, we want to grow our businesses. And if this is a major cost arrangement, we need to have it improved so that we can see the improvement that we expect.
And in another development, a section of Ghanaians has been expressing varied opinions on whether or not an increase in taxes is timely and useful to government's resolve to increasing revenue. Some schools of thought want taxes to be increased as a short-term measure to deal with revenue shortfalls and to enable government to fund its flagship programs. However, others have argued that the move could spark rampant cases of tax evasion. Joy Business sampled the opinions of some Ghanaians on the issue.
We are all living on government taxes in a way. For instance, we need taxes to be able to build schools, to be able to build hospitals and other facilities for all of us to enjoy. And if we are failing to increase the tax amount, then of course I'm not sure we'll be able to meet all those demands. We are clamoring for so many services from government. Where is government going to get the money? It is from taxes. So it is only fair and proper that we think of actually increasing the tax revenue.
We don't have to increase it, has to be where it is. Shouldn't be increased, because it makes cost of living very high, so it needs to be where it is or reduced. Yeah.
It shouldn't be increased, yeah, because as she said, it makes living quite difficult because you have to live up to a certain standard. I
think it should be increased a bit, but not very high.
So rather than widening the tax net, I rather feel like it's already wide enough. It's rather those who are not paying. People are actually owing, taxes are due, and they are not actually paying. So it's rather capturing those people and making them pay.
I think we should keep it as it is right now, because I think it is about time you rather expand the tax base, how you accumulate your taxes, rather than trying to now increase the taxes. Otherwise, the already entrepreneurs that are already in business are going to suffer it so much. But if you're able to increase your tax collection base to factor all those people in the marketplaces and all of that.
Let's do some insurance story now. And the National Insurance Commission has clamped down on an illegal insurance company operating on the market. According to the NIC, it has not licensed any company by name Swatel Insurance Company Limited and noted the company is operating illegally. Deputy Commissioner of Insurance Mike Landor disclosed this to Joy Business and said the case is currently under investigation.
We got word on this illegal insurance company operating in Swedru, Aguna Swedru, in the central region a few days ago. We have been working with the police to deal with the issue. So yes, it is confirmed that there is an illegal insurance company operating in Swedru by name Swatel Insurance Company Limited. They have branded their shops or their premises Swatel Insurance Company Limited. If you are in Swedru and you see that company, it is not a legal insurance company, and so don't do business with them. A lot has already been done. We have collaborated collaborated with the Ghana Police Service. We have had some people apprehended, those behind the scheme. Still some investigations are still going on. We are planning that we will put those arrested before the law court for the case to be tried and the appropriate penalties meted out to them.
The Security and Exchange Commission, SEC, says it is revisiting attempts to digitize its operations. As part of the move, the Commission is hoping to introduce a regulatory compliance portal and risk management software to pick up any warning signals from the market. Reverend Daniel Ugbami Tete is Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission.
We made an attempt, and it didn't quite work, so we are revisiting the options we have. We want to make it more efficient for our market operators to be able to give us information. So we are looking at a regulatory compliance portal so that it's easier, and that will also make the analysis of the information that we get from the market easier. We're also looking at engaging or making use of various risk management software that will help to throw up any warning signal that we need to pick from the market. So we are, I would say, at the early stages, because what we tried to do some years back didn't quite work. So we are just revisiting our options, and we hope that before the end of the year we would have made significant progress in terms of implementing a certain framework for digitizing our operations.
Now, telecoms giant MTN Ghana is moving to ensure that individuals and companies maximize their internet service usage to make it more gains. Senior specialist for consumer segments of the company, Maxwell Arthur, says he believes entrepreneurs and corporate bodies can make more profit with the optimum use of internet. He was speaking to Joy Business on the sidelines of the MTN Taking Over Awards ceremony. Bismarck Ausa has more.
The MTN Taking Over Awards ceremony saw some awardees drive home brand new Hyundai salon cars. Speaking to Joy Business on the sidelines of the awards ceremony, senior specialist for consumer segments Maxwell Arthur urged Ghanaians to invest more in the use of the internet.
Yes, many people are using more data than they used to. It's true, there's improvement, yes. Especially with the introduction of 4G network, there is a whole lot of improvements. Since 2015, when we deemed it necessary that in view of the growing technological world, we wanted our customers to be in tune with what everybody is enjoying somewhere, we indeed invested a lot, thousands and millions of dollars, to ensure that we have 4G network for our customers.
Some award winners expressed their joy.
Their feeling is really nice. Happy that I'm able to win this car and I'll be able to use it.
So do you think it is genuine?
Yeah, it's really genuine. Yeah.
So what are you going to do with the car?
I'm going to use it. Yeah, I can use it in school. Okay. Going for lectures and other stuff.
I'm
extremely happy, and of course there is no one who would be happy if he or she does not pass an examination. If you work hard and you succeed, you return home with joy. So I'm extremely happy that today I'm about to drive this brand new car home to support the family. If you really want to succeed in life, you need determination and hard work. If you don't have faith, you won't get any good thing in life.
The 5-month promotion, which started in January 2018, is expected to end in May. Bismarck Ausa's report for Joy Business.
Now, Unilever Ghana is teaming up with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to commence activities in agro-processing. Speaking at the meeting between the consumer giant and the Agric Ministry, the sector minister said the global CEO of Unilever, Paul Pullman, explains the collaboration will go a long way to contribute to economic growth.
Partnership will see both Unilever and the Agric Ministry collaborate in developing products using a range of food produce from farmers in the country. The global CEO of Unilever, Paul Pullman, explains the collaboration will contribute to economic development.
And it is a pleasure to be able to discuss with the Minister the possibilities that we have to extend our presence, extend our footprint, tie it in with our products, get increasingly more added value products, into Ghana, increasingly as well, hopefully exporting some of these products, and be a major part, continue to be a major part of helping grow this economy.
The move is expected to enhance livelihoods of farmers and individuals along the value chain. Dr. Ofosu Dortey is the Minister for Food and Agriculture.
They are coming with new ideas as to a whole range of activities stretching from the northern part of Ghana through the forest regions to the southern savannas of this country. In terms of products that we can produce, including shea nut, and of course oil palm, which is a very central part of agriculture in this country, and not only the agricultural side of it, but also how it impacts on their manufacturing base.
Sheila Tamaklos report for Joy Business.
It's live on the marketplace. Now, moving on, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has charged coastal African countries to ensure greater supervision and circumspection to help eliminate unworthy vessels from entering their ports. According to him, stricter inspection and adherence to the tenets of port state control regulations will ensure a better marine environment. He made this appeal at the 3rd Ministerial Conference of Abuja MOU on port state control here in Accra.
Ghana is indeed honored to have been called to host this conference. The government of Ghana accepted to play host as a testament to our commitment to regional and international cooperation and our resolve to collaborate in enhancing global maritime trade. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are here today because we share a common interest and a common purpose. We are all coastal states endowed with huge marine natural resources. With this blessing comes a responsibility to protect our marine environment from pollution caused by decades of loose maritime rules and the use of substandard ships. We also have the responsibility of promoting improved living and working conditions of shipboard officers and crew. That, in a nutshell, captures the essence of port state control and the obligation to which we are committed under the Abuja MOU.
Now, the Ghanaian drum is not just a music instrument, but a symbolic of the rich Ghanaian culture, generating a lot of tourist interest. The Arts Center here in Accra is home to some of these drum carvers. In our series on the business of arts this month on the Joy Business Van, we share the experiences of Emmanuel Kwesiusu, who has made a living from this trade since childhood. Here is a repeat of the van.
Drumming and dancing is not just for entertainment. It is an expression of culture and a medium to communicate important messages. The Arts Center in Accra is home to some of the drum carvers, and we're here to get insight into their trade. The first thing you should know is that there are different sets of drums depending on which part of the country you come from, be it Atumpan, Ashiko, Bongolo, and the elaborate Fonton form, you name them. Emmanuel Kwesiusu is one of the drum carvers who plied their trade at the Arts Center.
When I came here, I was about somewhere 6-7 years. So I can say from that stage going, I was fortunate to find myself here. You see people painting, see people carving, see people doing. So it was much easier for me that I love art myself. So at a very tender age, that is when I started doing it.
It takes an average of 3 hours to finish a drum. He's working on the Elwe set today.
It has to do with about 6 pieces of them. They are the main ones that form the Elwe set. We have the Sogo, Kidi, Toboto, Kagan, and then the Chimebu. So probably it's 5. But as I speak to you, what I'm doing now is what they call the Sogo. So these are just parts of the Elwe set. So I'm putting an effect on it to enhance the beauty of the drum. That's what I'm doing right now.
A drum, depending on the type you want to buy, could cost you between 50 and 300 Ghana cedis. Emmanuel can carve a minimum of 6 drums a day.
This is some of the very small ones that we can talk about easily. This is 5 inches a drum, and it's going to cost you like 50 cedis for it. In terms of the size, that's what it's going to cost you. When you go further, the next one can take you from 50 to 60. Then it means the sizes are changing from 5 to probably maybe 6, from 6 to 7, 7 to 8. When you go to the bigger sizes to the 13 inches, we have 2 types of skins. We have the goat skin, like I told you earlier on, and we have the cow skin. When I'm working on a 13 inches drum, and I'm using goat skin, it is going for 150. But when I'm working on the same 13 inches drum, and I'm using a cow skin, it's going for 300 cedis.
Business, Emmanuel tells me, booms during the festive season. Locally, drums are played during important occasions. Few individuals, however, own drums. It's usually tourists that patronize the drums. Emmanuel still considers it lucrative.
There's one thing we have studied when it comes in terms of our business. It has its own season. So yes, it is lucrative. If you ask me to tell you how much I can make per month, I'll be a little bit skeptic. I wouldn't be able to place my finger on exactly what I am, because on average I can tell you probably maybe 1,000 or maybe 900.
Drum carving is providing employment opportunities for many.
In our drum business, when you give me one drum to do, I am not the only person you've given job to do. Do you understand? The one drum alone is going to employ about almost people, about 3 or 4 to get it done. Because I will be doing the carving aspect of it. When I finish, I have to pay for somebody to do the sanding. It's also another job. I have to pay for somebody to do the shaving on the skin. The fellow takes the hair off the skin. I have to pay for that service too. I have to pay for the person who does the fixing and then the tuning. So probably you have given me one drum to do, but in the direct effect, you've employed about 4 people.
The main challenge is finding the market locally and beyond.
There should be a frequent exhibition or some sort of bazaar. So that's like gives people opportunity to see what we are doing. That alone will give us another big pool to market from. But I don't see those things. Once in a while it happens, they tell you there's an exhibition going on this place. And sometimes the stands fare they charge takes you off, so you don't want to even go there. But if we have our own bazaar and fairs in here for people to come and just come and watch.
All right, so you can catch another edition of the Joy Business Van on Wednesday with a repeat on the Marketplace on Thursday. And that's it for the Marketplace for today. Many thanks for watching. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. Have a good afternoon.